So here's a wild story for you. A massive project sets out to do one thing, generate clean power, but it ends up doing something else entirely, something nobody saw coming. It's like an accidental experiment on a gigantic scale. And the result? Well, it was truly incredible.
Take a good look at this. See that little green sprout? That's the mystery at the heart of our story. It's growing in a place that, by all logic, should be completely barren. We're talking about a high-altitude desert, underneath a sea of solar panels. So what on earth is going on here?
To get to the bottom of this, we've got to travel to the Qinghai Tibet Plateau. This is home to one of China's most brutal deserts, and it's where this amazing secret was uncovered, not by some grand design, but totally by accident.
Now, to really get what happened next, you need a sense of the scale we're talking about. This is the Qinghai Gonghe Photovoltaic Industrial Park. It blankets 64 square kilometers. That is just a mind-boggling number of solar panels stretching out as far as you can see, all built in a place that's basically hostile to life.
The plan itself was super straightforward. Use all that intense high-altitude sun to create clean electricity for millions of people. All the engineers and planners, they were looking up at the sky. They weren't really thinking about the dirt. But the ground, as it turns out, had its own ideas.
So, to understand why this greening is such a big deal, you first have to realize just how unbelievably harsh this environment is. This is a place where, honestly, life just shouldn't be able to get a foothold.
First off, we're way up high, almost 3,000 meters. An altitude like that exposes the land to brutal solar radiation and just wild temperature swings. Think scorching hot days and then plunging to freezing at night.
And water? Forget about it. The area gets only 246 millimeters of rain a year. To put that in perspective, that's even less than parts of the Mojave Desert. It is profoundly, deeply dry. So you've got these three things working together. Constant, vicious winds that just strip the soil away, those insane temperature changes, and practically no water. The soil is just fragile and dead. You know, scientists who studied this area figured that any kind of ecological recovery, any plants coming back, would take generations, if it could even happen at all.
So the big question is, how did an energy project accidentally become an ecology project? Well, the answer is kind of amazing. It's in the way the panels themselves, totally unintentionally, re-engineered the world right underneath them.
You see, after a while, researchers started noticing these weird green patches popping up. They investigated, and what they found was just remarkable. As one research paper put it, the solar farm wasn't just sitting there, it was actively creating its very own, much friendlier microclimate.
And this little chart just shows it perfectly. Out in the open desert, any drop of moisture is gone in a flash, the wind rips the soil away, and the sun just bakes the ground. But under the panels, everything changes. Moisture sticks around, the soil is protected, and the ground stays way, way cooler.
It really boils down to three simple things. First, shade. The panels block that punishing sun, which cools the ground and slashes water evaporation. Second, they act like a giant wall, stopping the wind from blowing all that fragile soil away. And third, and this is really cool, when it does rain, the water sheets off the panels, creating these little concentrated lines of irrigation, giving seeds just enough water to get started.
And what happens next is a powerful domino effect. The first few plants that manage to grow, the roots start to hold the soil together. That makes the soil more stable and better at holding moisture, which then allows even more plants to grow. The desert isn't just being stopped here. It's actually in retreat.
Okay, so what was discovered in this one remote desert in China has massive implications for all of us. It makes you ask a much bigger question. What if the stuff we build to power our lives could do more than that? What if it could actually heal the planet?
To get the potential here, just look at this. A staggering 40% of all land on Earth is classified as dry lands. These are the exact spots that are most at risk of degrading and turning into desert.
And look, this isn't some abstract environmental problem. This is a human problem. The process of desertification directly impacts the lives of over 1 billion people around the world, threatening their food, their water, everything.
And what's really exciting is that the China story isn't a fluke. Scientists are now seeing similar greening effects at huge solar farms in dry places all over the globe. From the American Southwest to the Middle East, this seems to be a real, consistent pattern. So, here it is, the big takeaway. For years, we've talked about renewable energy as a way to do less harm, right? To slow down climate change and shrink our carbon footprint.
But this discovery, it suggests something so much more profound. What if our technology could also be a tool for restoration? What if it can actively heal the damage that's already been done?
And that leaves us with a really powerful question for the future. As we build out this new generation of energy infrastructure, should we be thinking not just about megawatts, but about microclimates too? Could the grid that powers our world also be the grid that helps